Good evening. God, yeah, we getting started. Hey, you know what? I have to finish drinking my coffee. Good morning, rather. Good morning. I hope that all of you have had a beautiful Christmas holiday. I hope y'all I hope y'all are enjoying the Christmas season. Or if you there's actually a lot of this is when it's crazy. This is the time where saying happy holidays actually I don't have a beef with, because you've got Christmas that just passed, right? And then you have Hanukkah that started on the same day as Christmas Day. And then for those of you uh, who celebrate Kwanzaa, I do not. But for those who do, I'm not going to clown you. It's the holidays. I'm not even. It's not that kind of show today. So, but yes, happy holidays to all of you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. The New Year's coming up. We are almost done with a very, very wild 2024. And one where we have a lot to celebrate. Greetings once again, coming to you live from the County of Kings, the People's Republic of Brooklyn. Glad to have all of you here currently. Just letting everybody come in. I hope everybody's well. If you notice in the top right corner of the screen, there we go. Top right corner of the screen is a brand new overlay that was made for me. Shout out to Mr. Beck. You know who you are. I really appreciate your expertise. He's been working on some stuff for me, not only with this with the political channel, with my main channel, but he's also working on he's also helping me with stuff on for an actual soccer podcast that I've been working on. Yeah, I am going to focus my energies on making a soccer podcast. Yes, that is DC United centric, but we're going to talk about other things within MLS. We're going to talk about some USMNT stuff, big news that happened, big news that dropped today. I will get into it at the end of the show. I also want to take this moment to wish my good friends, yes, I am speaking of Taxiarchus Funtas and his wife Marina. Yesterday, they celebrated their wedding anniversary. These guys have been together for 11 years. 11 years. Want to give y'all my love, my appreciation for you guys. Thank you for your friendship. And it is my goal to see these guys, to see these two back on American soil, playing for an MLS team. You get Taxi's American career was cut way too short here, and I think there might be some things that could facilitate a move here culturally in the American space. So Love y'all. Tax, Marina, Junior. Love you guys. So let's get started. All right. Oh boy. So it's interesting that I start off the show talking about American soccer. Kind of a easy little segue into American soccer. Because it looks like both the president elect and also the vice president elect have both are both soccer fans. And JD Vance a few days ago caused quite the firestorm yesterday. It wasn't yesterday, it was actually Wednesday, it was a couple days ago, where he and one of his daughters were making biscuits together. Now, his daughter looks to be about maybe 4 or 5. I don't exactly know offhand. I've got a like his daughter's cute as just absolutely cute as a button, and it reminds me a lot of my own niece. I have a baby niece who is 5 years old. Love you, Vivi. And I and he's making biscuits. Like, he's making biscuits with his daughter. Okay. And I'm just going to let this play out, right? And I'm going to let you just see exactly why this is such a big deal. Michelle von Vogler, good morning to you, my love. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I appreciate the great vibes this morning. So here is JD Vance baking biscuits. I'll play about a minute. I'll play about half of this. It's 4 minutes long. It's 3 minutes 41 seconds. But I'm gonna play about a minute and a half of this. So here we go.
Today, we are going to learn to make biscuits because I feel like biscuit making is a lost art, and I think that every American family should have a good biscuit on their table during Christmas dinner. Mirabelle here is going to help me. She is always my sous chef. We're going to start with 2 cups of flour, Mira. My great-grandmother, Mamma Blanton, taught me the trick to a good biscuit is frozen butter. So we have a frozen stick of butter here that I'm actually going to...
I hadn't heard that about frozen butter. I have not heard that about frozen butter. Maybe I need to talk to my own mother about biscuits, because I hadn't heard that about frozen butter.
Grate with a cheese grater. 2 scoops of sugar into the flour.
How are we just put them in this?
Well, how can be some sugary biscuits, right? Do you like sugary biscuits? Grab the rest of our dry ingredients here. So we're going to need about 3 teaspoons, which is equivalent to 1 tablespoon of baking powder. There.
Down the Dixie sunny shore.
Also a tablespoon of salt.
Pacific.
First, Mommy and Aunt are watching from behind the camera here, and they think this is hysterical. All right, so we've got our grated butter here. I throw that in. Just get in here, take a really big chunk of butter. If you can see this, the biscuit does kind of the consistency of cornmeal here, which is really what you're after.
Is there nothing more toxic? Is there no masculinity more toxic than baking biscuits with your daughter? I mean, this is just so toxic, right? He's baking biscuits with his baby girl, and this is, like, seriously, this is incredible.
in different environments will need more or less moisture. But this is going to use about 2/3 of a cup of buttermilk. You know that, Miri? You know? You want biscuit dough to just come together. If you over mix it, then your biscuit's going to be tough, and you don't want that. You want a biscuit that kind of falls apart. I'm going to get some parchment paper. Roll this bad boy out.
Pennsylvania folks are traveling.
Oh my God. So amazing. So amazing. Now, the reason why this is like so beautiful to me, and it's not just because of Vance's baby girl, who is just stealing the show here. It is this glorious that shirt right there, that t-shirt that the vice president elect is wearing. Yo, my big cousin, well, he's big, but I think I'm older than him. My cousin Tavon, yo, King Wings, what's good, brother? But yeah, I intentionally wanted to show you all this because I think it's one of the reasons why I put this on Instagram, because we're talking soccer and my IG is where I've had most of my soccer content, along with just other crazy barely political stuff. So here's what's crazy about all of this. Yeah. I didn't know that JD Vance was a soccer fan. He's repping FC Cincinnati here. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know who FC Cincinnati are one of the best teams in Major League Soccer's Eastern Conference. They play at TQL Stadium, one of the nicest venues in American soccer. Been the home to many a juggernaut, many like a fantastic player within the American game. Luciano Acosta, you've had who I don't know if I think he's already gone, but DC United fans have a lot of love for Lucho Acosta. He played with us. Brandon Vasquez, previous player who played a little bit in Mexico, and I think he's coming to. I heard there was rumors he was going to go. He was going to San Jose. I don't know how true that is. Got a lot of big names on that have played on that club. You've got like I said, TQL Stadium is a fantastic soccer ground, and you've got they have one of the most dedicated fan bases in American soccer, and who they call the Bailey. Now, this context is important to this is very important to understand when you begin to take into account the fact that American soccer is very, very tribal. Okay. And American soccer, somewhere in the last 10 years or so, American soccer was completely hijacked by leftists. I have talked about this a lot over on my Instagram page. I've made videos that I've posted here over the years. American soccer is very much has been a bastion of leftism for many years. Okay. A lot of people, and it's something that a lot of people have not really paid much attention to. Okay. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but to watch the leftward shift in American soccer, which actually in some ways predates the leftward, the forced leftward shift in 2020 after the George Floyd incident. Okay. So to see the vice president elect wearing a shirt that's repping the team, that's repping one of the biggest clubs in Ohio. And one other thing about the state of Ohio, it's a bit of the fertile ground. It's like the fertile crescent, as it were, of American soccer. Two of the biggest clubs in American soccer, well, in terms of, well, I should say, you've got the very first club in American soccer, which is Columbus Crew. There were a total of 10 that started in 1996. Okay. There were a total of 10 clubs that started in 1996. DC United was one of them. Okay. DC United was one of them. Columbus Crew was among what was the first. They have the distinction of being the first club. And then you have FC Cincinnati, who started play about, I want to say they started about maybe 7 or 8 years ago in MLS. Could be wrong about that. They were in USL before then. They were a up and coming club that were well known in Cincinnati before they went to the top flight in American soccer. So it's a big deal for the vice president elect to rock this shirt. Okay. It's not something that you would expect out of a vice president, because and the reason why is because JD Vance is not a product of Washington. He's someone who's, you know how the Bible verse says, like, be in the world but not of the world. That's kind of how I look at JD Vance as a U.S. senator. He is in DC, but he's not of DC. So for him to rep a FC Cincinnati shirt, bacon biscuits with his daughter, it's a lovely, lovely thing to see, right? But the leftist soccer weebs in this country didn't see it that way. Michelle von Vogler said, love your t-shirt. DC United had a player named Marco Echeverri. Yep, El Diablo. He's in the Hall of Fame since 2022. Bolivia midfielder and is one of the greatest. Absolutely. He actually still works. He works in DC United's academy now. He's a coach, Michelle, with DC United's academy. Awesome guy. Looking forward to the day I can finally shake hands with him. But yeah, decent guy by all accounts. But yeah, so leftists had a conniption regarding Mr. Vance here. Zach Blandford, this guy is I don't know who the fuck this is. Like, he's Seth T. Walsh. Oh, he works for a councilman. Okay. And he's a Democrat. So this fucking guy, white liberal, okay, like he's your typical support women's sports. The data does. Yeah, like you see what this guy is, right? Typical virtue signaling. And now he's was just elected. Apparently he's the president of a supporter group. So this guy, yeah, he's so fucking happy. Like, you're typically, again, like, this is your Zach Blandford is your typical American white leftist soccer weeb. Very well connected, very much a lib, okay, a typical Midwestern shit lib, right? And instead of celebrating the fact that you now have a friend in the vice president elect of the United States, this fucking guy goes and says, I have a recurring nightmare of JD Vance pulling the sword at a FC Cincinnati match. Like, really, guy? Really? Really? That's what you're worried about? That's what you're worried about? You're worried that the vice president elect, the next vice president of the United States, you're worried that this guy is going to be honored that might be honored at an FC Cincinnati match? Like, do you see how tribal these people are, right? And yes, I am going, and I'm taking a sledgehammer to this shit. I really am, because I'm tired of this monopoly that white leftists have had in American soccer fandom. They're the biggest bunch of fucking racists, biggest bunch of y'all have to support whatever we say because we are on the right side of history, and you have and we dictate what you must believe. Okay? Like, guys like Blandford, guys like this are the ones who have terrorized MLS clubs for the last several years. These are the ones who go and make their demands to club front offices and club ownership and demand that their politics be reflected back onto them by the club. And I could go into DC United and how toxic DC United's fans are, it's a fucking pastime for me. Like I could do it all day because I've been doing it for years. Okay. But this right here is your stereotypical MLS fan. Okay. And then this guy goes in his conniption fit. This guy says, like, people were cooking this asshole in the comments. This guy, Chris, Rusty with a whole bunch of numbers. Quit being such a loser. He lives in Cincinnati. He is allowed to be a fan of Cincinnati sports teams. And then Zach Blanford, here we go, is like, he can be a fan of whatever he wants. I just don't want him paraded around the stadium during a game. So in other words, I don't care if he won. I care that he's paraded around like he won. Like, why can't he just win and be silent? Hey, Ashley. Love you, baby. Ashley on over on my Instagram says, good morning, brother. I love you, dear. Good to see you. But yeah, it's like and then Robert McIntosh, this guy goes, lots of demanding, entitled behavior from a career civilian who's done nothing for this country but be a net drain, attacking a veteran to make himself feel superior, despite having less value than a dirty sock in a prison cell. Not worth the service. Oh my God. Whatever he is, like, this guy, buddy, got 50 acres in your head. They are cooked. They cooked this guy. Cooked this guy. Cooked this guy. Jesus Christ. This guy, Zach Blanford, jeez. Like, I've never seen, like going through this tweet again, it's just like, this, oh God. Such a weeb. And even I said this, like, this is what I said here. It's like, you leftist soccer weebs are such unbelievable fucking losers, and I am here for all of it. Only you people would have the requisite amount of arrogance and baseless moral superiority to declare that the vice president-elect, a guy who lives in Cincinnati, shouldn't be honored by the club he's repping just because he's not some commie retard like the rest of you. They're not reading the room. These guys are like the one thing that I've noticed about the left in, like, the leftist factions in American soccer, they're not reading the room. There's been a rightward shift. There's a rightward shift going on right now in tech. There is a rightward cultural shift throughout the country. And let's be honest, the reason why that is because leftists have pissed on. Let me make sure I say this correctly. Leftists, communists, shit libs, whatever you want to call them, have pissed on every aspect of American culture, from sports to video games to TV shows to movies to art. They've managed to even American history. Leftists have pissed on the justice system. They have inverted what the justice system is supposed to do. Leftists have made absolutely clear that they hate every aspect of American culture. They've called every aspect of American culture racist and white supremacist and all other evil, all other silly and stupid words, until the people who once gatekept those aspects of culture just simply gave up and just let them have it. That's what these communists do. It's what James Lindsay says. Calling everything you want to control racist, white supremacist, whatever, until you control it. And that's what's been happening over the last 10, 15 years. Okay? The leftward shift in American culture, the leftist shift in American culture was from the top down. That's the dirty little secret that no one wants to realize. They went to the boardrooms, they went to the C-suites, they went there first. And once they went to the C-suites and got what they wanted and managed to bring that from the top down, they expected everybody to just simply get on board and be okay with whatever they had, with whatever their agenda was. When the Dobbs decision came down from the Supreme Court in 2022, I remember we're in the middle of a fucking DC United was in the middle of a wooden spoon season. One of the craziest, most ridiculous seasons. I'm personally going to say it was our rock bottom year. I've said this before and I'll say it again. 2022 was our rock bottom year. We had a lot of stuff going on. 3 coaching changes, worst record in MLS. A lot of players got traded away. We had no general manager. It was all a very disorganized, very chaotic year. And so when the Dobbs decision came down from the Supreme Court that brought abortion, that relinquished abortion from federal control and placed a woman's right to choose back in the hands of the states, which of course Democrats took to mean, oh my God, they're taking abortion away. DC United joined several other clubs in condemning the Dobbs decision. Condemning the Dobbs decision in a wooden spoon season. And I criticized it. I was like, this is ridiculous. This has nothing to do with soccer. This has absolutely nothing to do with soccer. But what it did was it appeased the leftist weebs in the Chico stand. It appeased the loudest, smarmiest members of American soccer culture. It made the Pablo Maurers, it made the other woke gatekeepers of the sport, it made them happy. And see, and the one thing that I'm trying to get people to understand, and what this asshole clearly doesn't understand, is that you got to read the fucking room, y'all. This is the image of the leftist, of the rightward shift. The entire country is shifting to the right. Even here in New York City, even in Maryland, even at you had a couple of, like, if you look at this image, like there's a couple of places, within Georgia and like in this little section right here, and then out in Colorado, because everybody's stoned out of their heads out there. But for the most part, the entire country is shifting to the right. And yes, I wrote the days of white, blue-haired, septum-ringed leftists holding soccer in the United States politically hostage are over. And that's because it is. So then, of course, and I've gone quite long in this section, in this segment. I want to talk about a bunch of other stuff right now, but I want to talk about some other stuff. But I want to just make sure that I get this out of the way. So I despise, there's one guy in particular who I absolutely cannot stand. I don't like him. Oh my God. Oh, this is just great. I didn't need to see that. I really didn't need to see that. I did not need to see that. Okay. Okay. So hold on. All right. Try to focus. Looking for that post again. Wait a minute. Still looking. Bear with me. How's everybody doing today? Happy Friday once again. I hope you're all well. Let me know how you doing today. Let me know if you can hear me. Now, I want to first talk about, I want to show you the tribal nature of American soccer. Okay? I don't know why. Why can't I find this? I haven't finished scrolling. Okay, here we go. So then, here we go. So then there's this asshole. Pablo Iglesias Maurer. Well known to several people. Used to cover DC United exclusively. He writes for The Athletic. And I guess he covers the league writ large now for The Athletic. I don't know. I personally don't care. This guy is shit. This guy is shit. And he's shit for a lot of reasons. But this guy goes and says, like, incredibly, hold on, this guy goes, come, Cincy fans, come get your boy. What in God's name does that even mean? Cincy fans, come get your boy. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, I forgot. You cannot be a conservative or even a non-leftist person. You have to have the right politics in order to be an American soccer fan to the likes of Pablo Maurer and so many other white leftists in supporter sections across the country. And now, and of course, people got on him. Soccer is for everyone until it's someone who shares different values. Soccer is for everyone until someone you don't like supports it. Yeah, the horror of a guy liking a team and baking with his daughter. Like, oh no, exposure for a league hidden on a terrible streaming service. Blue team, red team shtick is silly. Can't we just enjoy sports together and not get snippy? Like, we just had an endless election cycle. Like, it's funny enough to see supporter culture nerds go all Pikachu face that soccer isn't jock DSA anymore. But to see a professional writer do it is just too much. Oh, shit. I love this. I love this. I love this. He got cooked worse than I thought he did. He got cooked worse than I thought he did. Fun fact, you like things that people you don't like also like. The people you don't like also like. Why is that a big deal? And I'll get to do Crew fans need to get the do Crew fans need to get their boy as well? Oh, that's good. That's good. But here's what I wrote. And yeah, I went in on him. Because the one thing you have to understand about Pablo Maurer here, okay? Like, I'm seriously waiting until he announces his transition. Okay? He lost a lot of weight. He lost a lot of weight. He grew his hair out. He's got a bunch of tattoos. Seriously, I'm waiting for the septum ring and for him to dye his hair blue and for the next pronoun announcement. I really am. Like, he looks like the type. He absolutely looks like the type, but he's one of these ones that fights a little too hard for that side. December 6th. Now, this goes into something else. I want y'all to look at this where he says, I'm going to begin my migration over to Blue Sky. I'll still be active on here from time to time, but we'll be no. There's a reason for that. And it's something that I started to discuss in on a Sunday night stream with MLS Moves and Fabian Renkel, the one I did last weekend. There is now an active measure. In my opinion, there is an active measure to hide MLS from wrong thinkers. There is an active measure by people like Pablo Maurer and others to hide the league, to hide Major League Soccer from everyone who does not think or believe as they do. it's starting to become a lot more evident to me. And I have evidence and I have receipts for this, but that's going to be another show because I got other stuff I want to talk about today. But the one thing I need people to realize is this is back in 2017, September 22nd. This same guy, MLS-ist, basically dimed out the fact that Baron Trump was playing in DC United's academy in the U12s. Now, I don't know if you've seen Baron Trump these days. You want to talk about a big youngin'? That dude's like 6'8", and while during Trump's first presidency, Barron was in DC United's academy. Now, I don't know what that intent. I don't know what his intent was, because see, guys like Maurer and other leftists, they like to throw stones and hide the hand, right? So he put this information out there, 7 years ago. I mean, what was the point of him doing that? So I had it. I was like, they said, nah, because his thing was where he says, Cincy fans, come get your boy. I said, nah, I think it's time we got you, boy. Several years ago, this leftist op masquerading as a journalist reported on Baron Trump. Yes, that's right, that Baron Trump, playing in DC United's academy system, almost as if to engineer some kind of outcome. Whatever that desired outcome was is between you and God, frankly, though I'm pretty sure I have a very good idea what it was. But seeing as this video of the vice president-elect of the United States making biscuits with his daughter triggered your bitch ass to the point where you're encouraging FC Cincinnati fans to come get their boy, I'd encourage you to remember that you don't run shit around here. There ain't enough of you to keep this league solvent by yourselves. Like, I don't understand where these people, I truly do not understand where these people get off thinking that they control an entire sport. Not one time did I ever see Donald Trump supporters telling Colin Kaepernick stands that they couldn't come to a football game. I didn't see any NFL journalists telling people that they could not come that they shouldn't come to a football game. Soccer is the only sport in the United States, that and hockey, where there is a concerted effort to dictate who can participate in the sport based solely on political beliefs. MLS was buried on Apple TV Plus. I don't care who gets offended by it. MLS is languishing behind Apple TV Plus. It's being hidden. There is far less access to the game for people than there was in the regional sports networks and ESPN Plus. There is less access to MLS than there was before. A lot more money, but a lot less accessible to regular people. So yeah, we're going in today. We're going in today. And let me tell you, I especially hate. I'll be honest with you. I hate Pablo Maurer. I hate that motherfucker. I don't care. I don't care who hears. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I hate that motherfucker. You know why? Because he was very much instrumental in getting Taxi Funtas thrown off of DC United. Very much instrumental in getting that young man thrown off this club, thrown off our club. Taxi Funtas submitted polygraph, admitted probe into racism allegations, contract termination imminent. This is the only guy. Look at this. During the test, which monitors a subject's breathing, pulse, perspiration, and blood pressure while they answer a series of questions, Funtas was asked whether he directed the N-word at Nigel Robertha, during the second half of United's game against New England, and also whether he'd used the slur at all during the entire game. The report, a copy of which was obtained and reviewed by The Athletic, states that Funtas answered no to both questions and that there was no deception indicated in Funtas's answers. Now, see, normally that's the end. That would be the end of that'd be the end of the investigation. But then this asshole decides to insert the following. The accuracy of polygraph testing has long been debated. Various studies have shown that the tests have a range of accuracy from 60 to 90%, which is far from conclusive. Even in most cases, polygraphs are inadmissible as evidence in a legal proceeding, though they are still sometimes used by law enforcement as part of an investigation. He marginalized, ironically, a polygraph test. He marginalized the polygraph test. Just because it did not produce an outcome that he wanted. Pablo Maurer did. And again, this is why people are done with the gatekeeping. People are done with the fraudulence. People are done with these kinds of people dictating to everybody what culture should be. Investigations are there is no such thing as investigations, okay? There are simply allegations. Someone makes an allegation. All they do is they look at the race and the sex of the people making the allegation, and they go with presupposed determinations. Well, black people would never lie about the racism that they experience on a regular basis. White men always lie, even if Taxi being Greek doesn't necessarily count as white. I mean, what are we doing? But that's the kind of that's the kind of foolishness that we've been dealing with in American soccer. And it's time that shit came to an end. Deadly serious. So anyways, moving on. Fuck Pablo Maurer. He's a loser. He sucks. And yes, I can make valid arguments as to why I despise him, and I hope that I have, but anyways, moving on. Oh, Vivek Ramaswamy. A lot of people are upset at him today. Well, or rather, I don't know that. Like they were, pardon me, they were angry yesterday I don't necessarily know if they're still angry at him for telling the truth about American culture. But I know a lot of people were, and were yesterday. There's a bit of a brouhaha that popped up about H-1B visas, and honestly, I don't even know how. See, I don't like getting into immigration debates. I don't. Immigration debates, it's like what I don't like. What I don't like is this. I don't like the illegal immigration that has been allowed to persist by the Biden administration and by Alejandro Mayorkas. I despise it. I hate it. I think it's terrible. It is draining. It is diluting. It's driving down wages. It honestly has destroyed. It dilutes wages. You're bringing more people into a labor pool that frankly should not be there. You're not even giving, like, you constantly hear about, you hear the argument from leftists and other liberals all the time when they go, well, who's gonna pick fruit, who's gonna pick vegetables, it's like they're literally asking who, like, it's like during the Civil War when people were like, well, who's gonna pick our cotton? Oh, we're fighting to end slavery. Who's gonna pick our cotton? You mean to tell me you can't hire, I don't know, American veterans to pick some fruit? You can't get some people, you can't get some people out of a fucking homeless shelter to pick some fruit? You're not even giving. I think that's what pisses me off about this immigration debate. It's like you're not even giving Americans the opportunity to decide if that's a job that they don't want to do. It's like Democrats just decided for everybody. Oh, well, who's gonna pick fruit? Who's gonna pick vegetables? The price of all your fruits and vegetables are gonna go up if we don't have these undocumented immigrants. No human is illegal. But the price of fruit and vegetables and meat have gone up exponentially because of inflation, which is due to government spending. The profit margin has not changed. However, because grocery profit margins are, but for supermarkets is still like around just a little under 2%. But the price of everything's gone up because the government can't stop fucking spending money. But that's another discussion. So I again, like, I debated whether or not to even talk about the H-1B visa debate. Really, the only critique I have is, and it's not even really a critique. I just want to know what exactly did Vivek say that was so wrong. Okay, I'm going to read through his post from yesterday. Wait. Oh, nice. Matt Freese has just been announced New York City FC's MVP for the 2024 season. Awesome. Awesome job. Congrats to Matty Ice. Great player. Okay. So I want to see. Okay. I'm going to read this, and I am going to take my time to read this because I want to make sure that I get this right. Okay. So let's see. The reason Vivek Ramaswamy, matter of fact, let me just go here and boom, here we go. The reason top tech companies often hire foreign born and first generation engineers over quote unquote Native Americans isn't because of an innate American IQ deficit, a lazy and wrong explanation. A key part of it comes down to the C word, culture. Tough questions demand tough answers. And if we're really serious about fixing the problem, we have to confront the truth. Our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long, at least since the 1990s and likely longer. That doesn't start in college, it starts young. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. That's really the only thing that I disagree with about. A culture that venerates Corey from Boy Meets World or Zach and Slater over Screech in Saved by the Bell or Stefan over Steve Urkel in Family Matters will not produce the best engineers. Fact, I know multiple sets of immigrant parents in the 90s who actively limited how much their kids could watch those TV shows precisely because they promoted mediocrity, and their kids went on to become wildly successful STEM graduates. More movies like Whiplash, fewer reruns of Friends. I could agree with that one. More math tutoring, fewer sleepovers. More weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons. More books, less TV. More creating, less chilling. More extracurriculars, less hanging out at the mall. Most normal American parents look skeptically at those kinds of parents. More normal American kids view those kinds of parents with scorn. If you grow up aspiring to normalcy, normalcy is what you will achieve. Now, close your eyes and visualize which families you knew in the 90s or even now who raised their kids according to one model versus the other. Be brutally honest. Normalcy doesn't cut it in a hyper-competitive global market for technical talent. And if we pretend like it does, we'll have our asses handed to us by China. He's right. He's right. This can be our Sputnik moment. We've awakened from slumber before, and we can do it again. Trump's election hopefully marks the beginning of a new golden era in America, but only if our culture fully wakes up. A culture that once again prioritizes achievement over normalcy, excellence over mediocrity, nerdiness over conformity, hard work over laziness. That's the work we have cut out for us. Rather than wallowing in victimhood and just wishing or legislating alternative hiring practices into existence, I'm confident we can do it. Again, what did Vivek say that was so wrong here? No, seriously. I want to know, what did Vivek say that was so wrong? Vivek was absolutely right on in most of what he said. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. Americans have writ large, have developed an allergy to talking about culture. Black folk, and I'm going to say this right now, speaking as a black man, Black Americans have an awful time discussing culture. No one wants to, and no one. I'm saying white Americans, Black Americans, most people don't want to be told that their culture sucks. Most people do not want to be told in whatever, most people don't want to be told that they're living, if they've been living a certain way for a while, they don't want to hear that their culture sucks. But sometimes you have to hear it. Sometimes you have to hear and understand that the way we've been living and the things that we have been conditioned and institutionalized to embrace in society are not good, no matter how good they might actually feel. Hip-hop sucks. Hip-hop music sucks. I've been saying this for years. I've been saying this since hip-hop stopped being good, mainstream hip-hop stopped being good about 25 years ago. It did. You can say what you want, but 1999 was the last year. 1999, 2000, yeah, back that ass up. That was the last year hip-hop was actually good. Are there good individual artists? Absolutely. But the ones who make the mainstream are ass. Like hip-hop artists that have mainstream, that have some type of mainstream appeal, they're garbage. The things that Black culture embraces, we embrace Black culture, like we embrace mediocrity in the majority. We embrace it. I can't tell you how many people in Black Twitter I've seen over the years. I've been on Twitter. I've been on X/Twitter for like 15 years. Never in my life have I seen such an open embrace of mediocrity. Literally, like, well, I wish I could be as mediocre as a white man. It's like it's like a cultural race to the bottom. Literally, Black folk just wishing that they could just wake up and be successful. But everyone does it. Everyone does it. There is no the ability, the desire to innovate, the desire to work, the desire to act like the exceptionalism comes from being willing to do the extra, going the extra mile. And it's like all folk want to do these days with their hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And granted, there's a lot of systemic de-incentivization. People aren't making, like these jobs want people who are, like hella qualified, but don't want to pay them any money. That's a real, that's a reality. There are places that are simply becoming prohibitively expensive to live in. Even $200,000 a year doesn't get you nearly what it got you, a few years ago. That's just a fact. But, let me just go over here real quick to my, yeah. So Romel, good friend of mine, shout to Taxi Funtas. If that's the case, why does yeah, exactly. It's the same argument that leftist Dominican politicians have when it comes to paying cheap labor for illegal Haitian immigrants. Yeah. I didn't know that. But no one wants to, but the point is, no one wants to be told that their culture, that things are wrong with their culture. Okay? And no one wants to be told that the system in which we've been living. We've lived through deindustrialization. We've lived through the hollowing out of cities by, from drug use, homelessness, crappy wages. You got places that don't that will literally fire people for working overtime. But no one wants to, but on top of that, there has been an active de-incentivization to actually work on anything, to make themselves better. People want to wake up. Why do you think Ozempic is so popular? I mean, forget the job market for a second. Let's talk about some of the cultural markers of shortcut culture. Ozempic. An injection every week, like every week or every 2 weeks. An injection will burn all the fat right off you. Okay? It's a miracle drug. Everybody wants it. Everyone wants Ozempic. But they're finding some real issues with Ozempic. Like, Ozempic has the potential to really mess your insides up. There's the gaunt face that's produced. The loose skin that no one takes any of this into account, but people love it. Why? But people love Ozempic. They love all these drugs. Why? Because it's a shortcut. If I can simply, inject myself with something and lose 50, 60 pounds, then instead of diet and exercise, instead of the hard work of diet and exercise, if I want to, it's like if I want a big butt, if women, some women are like, well, if I want a big butt, instead of, going to the gym and doing squats and strengthening the legs, they'll just go and, pay thousands and thousands of dollars for a BBL or go put some caulk in your butt cheeks or whatever. Butt implants, looking crazy. Go do some squats. It'll last longer. But again, the point is that is shortcut culture. We want everything quick and dirty. We want everything quick and easy. We don't want to struggle. We don't want to actually go through anything hard. We don't want to work. We don't want to earn anything. That transcends race. That transcends everything. It's real. It is a very real thing. And people are acting as if that culture of mediocrity isn't. And think about it. If the powers that run this world, the powers that have been running this world for the last 50, 60, 70 years, how in the world are there shitty, spoiled kids supposed to rule the world after they pass away? If they have to compete with a culture of smart, well-educated, well-discerning Americans. I mean, do I need to pull out the George Carlin? Do I need to pull out the George Carlin quote? Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Yeah. Here we go. Not hard to find at all. A lot of people get on me for saying that George Carlin was a prophet. I don't even care. The man was a prophet. And here's why. Just listen to what he says. I'm going to let this play through.
Not too bright, folks. Not too fucking bright. But if you talk to one of them about this, if you isolate one of them, you sit them down rationally, you talk to them about the low IQs and the dumb behavior and the bad decisions, right away they start talking about education. That's the big answer to everything. Education. They say we need more money for education. We need more books, more teachers, more classrooms, more schools. We need more testing for the kids. You say to them, well, you know, we've tried all of that, and the kids still can't pass the test. They say, oh, don't you worry about that. We're going to lower the passing grades. And that's what they do in a lot of these schools now. They lower the passing grades some more.
Hold on. I wanna let me find a different video.
Reason education suck. That you have freedom of choice. You don't.
All right, let's try this.
Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets, and they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right.
We know this is true. We know this is true. I dare anyone to. I dare. I tell. How do people say on here? Tell me I'm lying. This Tommy Sotomayor. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me that is not the case these days. It is, like George Carlin said earlier, it is why education sucks.
That'll help them. That's citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want anything else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table to figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back.
Obedient workers. Obedient workers. That's what the powers that run this world want. That's what the World Economic Forum want. That's what the United Nations want. That's what UNESCO want. That's what the Democratic Party want. They wanted obedient voters. Obedient voters. That's why illegal immigration was as bad as it is right now. They were trafficking in obedient voters. Vote cattle, tax cattle. People who could be controlled, people who could be influenced, people who would simply accept whatever was told to them. That's what they want. I've run longer than I wanted to. I wanted to talk about something that's happening here in New York City, but I don't think I'm going to have the time to do so. So maybe I'll do it. I'll do it in another video. But I want to thank you all for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I feel like this has been a much more, even though I ran way long on the first item of business. I hope that I hope I've been I hope this has been a helpful stream. I hope that y'all have had fun. If you've been watching so far, I greatly appreciate it. Have a great day, a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.